Do you think they'll find us?
I don't think they know where we are.
For now.
You do know what we just stole, right?
Doesn't matter! It's done! It's the only way! Are you sure that this will work?
I hope so. It's the only way!
If you're watching this, then our efforts weren't futile. This is the year 2049, and humanity is doomed. We're being watched, controlled, and enslaved. We are all that's left of the underground resistance. We fight the corporation. Our time is running out, and right now, we urge you to listen to the story of your future. You must listen and decide whether this is the future that you want for yourselves and for us, your children.
Founded in 1876 by Thomas Edison, E.G. had grown to be one of the largest corporations in the world. Company by company, E.G. had diversified its stake into as many industries as possible. E.G.'s technological innovations quickly improved the standard of living for Americans and consumers around the world. However, altruism was never part of its corporate strategy. The 20th century brought about the manifestation of E.G.'s corporate strategy of profit-seeking. Corporations began harming their customers and hiding any details deemed too sensitive for the general public. They based sociant claims against cigarettes, pesticides such as DDT, and global warming. Guided by profit objectives, corporations began supporting the lucrative war and military efforts of their governments, thereby entrenching themselves into the political affairs of the world's most powerful nations. E.G. was among these corporations. Simultaneously, E.G. continued to acquire media conglomerates, which were then used to portray the giant corporation in a positive light. Thus, the public remained ignorant. September 11, 2001 paralyzed the world with fear and resulted in the voluntary handover of the essential rights and liberties of the American public to the American government. In a matter of months, E.G. began using this information in order to develop its corporate strategies, thus gaining an immeasurable competitive advantage. In 2008 U.S. elections, E.G. heavily funded the elected president's campaign. Outcry arose in response to the use of E.G.'s polling software for the election. E.G. used its media influence to alter documentation, plant false stories, and downplay any involvement that the corporation had in the elections. By 2010, all remaining critics had been arrested on charges involving terrorism, drugs, rape, or corporate crime. Information exposing E.G. in a negative light disappeared, and the circulation of entertainment television and digital propaganda intensified. By 2013, E.G. was the largest media conglomerate in the world and had one of the largest defense contracting businesses. Crippled by E.G.'s budding monopoly, the Fox Broadcasting Company filed a lawsuit against E.G. To the shock of 1,000 critics, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of E.G. Shortly thereafter, Fox was acquired by E.G. through a hostile takeover. By 2018, numerous conspiracy theorists were convinced large corporations fully controlled the government. However, these voices of protest were quickly silenced. Their blogs, YouTube videos, and families were all removed from the public eye, never to be seen again. All doubt had been eliminated. The population was under the control of a very powerful entity, and any protests were crushed without hesitation. In the 2020s, an absence of competition and drive deteriorated the standard of living for most citizens. People were living poorly and working 18-hour days in order to survive. Furthermore, E.G. began to quickly replicate its business model in other nations, acquiring international firms, controlling international media giants, and funding foreign government officials. In 2025, the North American Union was formed through the influence of E.G. to combat the continual dominating Europe. Slowly, each continent followed suit, creating the Asian Union, African Union, and so on. The world changed its appearance. By 2030, E.G. gained control of the world leaders and governments in the same way it had cultivated its dominance in America. Global control was held by a handful of powerful governments, all supported by and in collaboration with E.G. By 2032, the corporation had enough power to overtly arbitrate a global leadership summit called the One World Committee. Through this summit, E.G.'s world domination plans were truly revealed. It was here that the global leaders met and agreed to one global constitution. The global union was justified to the public as a solution to the deteriorating standard of life. Incidentally, the appointed global president was former EG CEO George Prescott Rockefeller Bush. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was radically changed. Any critics of the new government were immediately silenced. Today, millions of people worldwide are oppressed for the sake of the few. Any and all resistance is forced to hide or is eradicated. EG has overt power over the world government. Humanity has surrendered. People have resigned to a purposeless, miserable, and oppressed existence.
And here we are. We're being watched, controlled, and enslaved. Somewhere in time, we took a wrong turn. We made a wrong choice. Or maybe we didn't make a choice at all.
Jack, there's no time!
You must decide whether for your prosperity or your humanity. You must make a choice.
Jack!